What's happening, everybody? Your boy Big Brando. I've been getting a lot of questions about doing a start to finish complete job on cutting vinyl to pressing vinyl onto a t-shirt showing the finished product. There's a handful of people out there that are kind of undecided about getting a vinyl cutter or had questions about the Silhouette Cameo 3, which is the vinyl cutter that I use. So I'm gonna do a little step-by-step process on how to cut the vinyl, how to heat press it, and show the finished product. All right, here we go, guys. I'm gonna start from the beginning here. Let's just bring in our image. So what I do is I create the images in Photoshop, save them as PNGs. That way, so there's no background, it's a transparent background. Here is one of my leftover designs. I have my page here set up to 12 by 12. This design is a little under 12 inches, so it fits perfect. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna trace this thing. You gotta draw a box around everywhere that you want it to trace. And then usually what I do, you don't have to do it this way, but this is a easy way for me to do it, is take off the high pass filter. As you can see, you want everything to be yellow. Everything that's yellow is gonna get cut out. And then I'll take down the scale down here to as low as I could go. Everything looks fairly sharp. I'll bump up the threshold to 46%. This looks good. What you're gonna do is go up here to trace. Now it's all traced, ready to go. So here's the original, and then here's the traced image. You might not be able to see it on the camera, I'm sorry about that, but just delete that out of there. Now what you're gonna wanna do is flip this. You're gonna wanna mirror it, so it's gonna have to be flipped backwards, because when it cuts it out on the vinyl, it's gonna cut it out, and then from the backing, you're gonna put it down onto your t-shirt and print it out. So when you're doing heat transfer vinyl, make sure that you flip your image. This way you just right click or control click and then flip horizontal. So now we just flipped it backwards. It's gonna cut it backwards, but then when we press it onto the shirt, it's gonna be right side up. So from here, we're gonna go to cutting. So this is the cut settings. You're gonna wanna select your tool, what kind of paper you're gonna be cutting, shit like that. So they have a lot of presets on here. We're just gonna go down to, I think it's called heat transfer material. So the one I use is heat transfer material smooth. Click that, click tool 1, because the Cameo 3 has two cutting tools. I'm gonna choose tool 1, and then I'm gonna set that to the automatic blade. Now it's ready to go. So my design's traced out, vectored, ready to go. I flipped it horizontal. I told the Cameo which tools to use and what kind of material I'm gonna be cutting. So now let's load up the Cameo. All right, so the heat transfer vinyl that I use is the ThermoFlex Plus. So here it is. There's two sides to it. There's a shiny glossy side, and then there's a dull side. The dull side is the side you want to cut. So I'm cutting a 15-inch roll here. So what you do want to be mindful for when you're doing 15-inch pieces of vinyl is that there's two screws right here. So you want to make sure when you feed it in here, because if you're doing a regular 12-inch roll, it'll line up to this little line and it'll feed through here, right? So this is a 15-inch roll. We're not going to go by these little lines. What we're going to do is center it, be mindful of the screw right here and the screw right there, and then once you have it in there, I'm just going to press load. All right, so let's pan over here to the computer now that everything's loaded up, and we're going to send it to the Cameo. Start. Cameo's doing its thing, it's adjusting the blade. Now it's starting its cutting process. All right, now let's get into the weeding process. Tools I use is a little picker. Sometimes I use the X-Acto knife. Easiest way to go about doing it is kind of just peeling up the corner, I guess, and then going from there. Like I said, this is the most painful process of doing vinyl. So this is what it looked like backwards, upside down when we cut it. And then this is what it looks like, or what it's gonna look like on the t-shirt. So the sticky side, it was up, it's covered in vinyl. We weeded it all out. That's why we cut it backwards. So this is the way it fed into the cutter. It cut it out backwards because it's gonna get pressed this way. So there it is. This is gonna be a back hit on a t-shirt. Let's move on over to the heat press. Alright, so now that you know how to do it, I don't know if this will make your decision a little easier on buying a vinyl cutter. You don't have to get the Silhouette Cameo 3 like the one I have. US cutter, Roland. There's a ton of different vinyl cutters that you can get out there. I use the Cameo 3 because, I mean, it fits my workspace and I don't need the big 24-inch cutter like I used to have. This right here will take the 15-inch rolls. It'll cut it down by 12. But it still feeds the same rolls, and like I said, I think things like 200 bucks or something like that. So it fits my budget, really easy to use, and for my operation it works perfect. So I hope this helped some people out, or everybody that's been emailing me and asking me to do this video, the start to finish vinyl cutting process. Hopefully this video helped you guys out. If not, you know, so be it. But this is for everybody that just wanted to know more about vinyl heat transfer as opposed to plastisol heat transfers that I always talk about. So if you guys got any more questions, make sure you email me bigbrando@gmail.com, or you can leave a comment down below. Do whatever you want. Follow up with all the social media, Eat Leftovers, and Big Brando. There you have it. Catch you guys on the next one. Yeah.